It's a pleasure to have my friend Louise Bang here at ILTM 2025. Thank you so very much for coming here and talking to me and coming to Brazil. I've known this lady here forever. So tell us a little bit where you're from, not only yourself, but who you represent here. And tell us a little bit about your career, how, over these years, what happened to you?
Eduardo, a joy to be here with you and a joy to be back at ILTM in Brazil. It's been a few years. I was actually telling Simon that my anniversary with ILTM is nearly as long as my anniversary with this company. So I am Danish, but born and raised in Spain. So more Latin, more Hispanic probably than I am Scandinavian. And I ended in this industry. I don't know if you and I have ever chatted about it, but I wanted the world to be my home. I wanted to be able to live anywhere in the world. I wanted to be able to travel all over the world. I love connecting with people. That's probably something we have in common. I love exploring the world's cultures. So I chose hotel industry, and I studied at the university in England, studied hotel management, and then I joined Marriott straight out of university. And I started in global sales. So at 22 years old, I was selling Costa Rica to Jordan.
Always with Marriott.
Always with Marriott. And then one day I was hired to join the Ritz-Carlton. I had to cross the street. The buildings were next to each other.
So Ritz-Carlton was part of Marriott back then already?
Initially, yes, partially acquired by Marriott, not fully. So I joined Ritz-Carlton as they were doing the rest of that integration, and I learned all about the ladies and gentlemen, serving ladies and gentlemen. I definitely honed in on my leadership skills. It is an absolute product of the Ritz-Carlton culture, from empowering people, leading with empathy, learning how to deliver exceptional service and memories around the world, and that was my school in many, many ways. Then, I don't know if you know, but for love, I briefly moved to Jordan. I quickly learned a few lessons and I moved back, and I landed back in London and started my own business briefly, and then I rejoined the Ritz-Carlton in global sales. And I missed the people, I missed the leadership, I missed this phenomenal brand.
It is a great
brand.
brand.
I missed the culture. And then we were representing Ritz-Carlton, Edition, Bulgari, and
So
Reserve.
how does that work? Because Ritz-Carlton has its place and its positioning in the luxury industry. How do all these other brands fit in? Tell us a little bit about this umbrella of
Let me tell you
companies.
the journey I was on. So I was selling 4 brands when I was leading our team in Europe. And then I was asked to move to the US.
As they were all part of Marriott.
They were. They were the luxury brands within Marriott. And then I moved to the US to do the same for the Americas, including this beautiful part of the world, Caribbean and Latin America, which I deeply love. And we acquired a very small company at the time called Starwood. And with that, we suddenly expanded to a lot more brands. And for me, it was exciting. One of the brands that I really grew to love very fast was the W, for example. I felt that they had a culture that was very true to that brand. And over the years, you've seen that the loyalists of W have traveled with the brand. And as I sit today, we're in Brazil, in Sao Paulo, and I'm staying at the W. We have just opened. And it is a beautiful reflection of what that hotel is all about, the brand and the culture. So long story short, I joined global sales in the US, and then I had the privilege, because I spoke Spanish, of coming down to this part of the world and leading the team there. And that's how you and I met.
True.
Your company was small then. You
True.
were, I remember, just doing a little bit of ski, and here we are sitting at ILTM with your own stand, your own show.
Yeah, I know.
How many businesses? 6?
No,
7?
five companies under the TTWGroup umbrella. But
things have changed.
how many brands are under the, what is it called now? Because you had an evolution on branding. What is it called now? How many brands? Tell us a little bit.
So now for Marriott International, we refer to it as our luxury group, and that's really what it is. We have some of the most coveted luxury brands in the world in that umbrella. So you're thinking from Bulgari to Ritz-Carlton, which includes a Ritz-Carlton yacht, Reserve, to one of my other favorites, the St. Regis, which is an absolutely beautiful brand as well, with so much legacy, so much history as well. W, as I referenced, that I'm a big fan of. And one of the brands that I'm also enjoying seeing grow a lot is Luxury Collection. We just opened Almari, a luxury collection hotel in Isla Mujeres in Cancun. We opened Salterra in Turks and Caicos as well. And we've got another all-inclusive in Sanctuary Capcana as well in Dominican Republic. So you're going to see more and more luxury collections in this part of the world too. And then the JW, it carries the naming of the families. It is a grand dame in so many different destinations. The mindfulness now, any JW you go to explore, you'll find the JW garden. You'll see them pulling through the essence of that brand in every experience. So it's a beautiful portfolio of hotels, and really, I think some of the most coveted brands in the world now are in the luxury group.
Absolutely. How many hotels in total?
There's over 500 hotels globally. Actually, in Caribbean and Latin America, we have 10% of the brand's luxury hotels. And apart from the hotels that we already have open, our 50th, you know which one that was?
No.
The Necahui, the Ritz-Carlton Reserve in Costa Rica. Since then, we've already opened 2, and we have 29 new hotels coming just in the Caribbean and Latin America. So your travelers, your guests will be able to stay with us wherever they would like. They will be able to choose the brand that fits their specific travel purpose on that occasion. And you'll continue being looked after by our phenomenal GSO team and myself and the teams, and caring for your every single guest.
So you mentioned 2 properties that are kind of out of what you would expect for a luxury brand from Marriott. So to experience. So you mentioned the yacht, right? I had the opportunity to be on board of on a very short trip on one of them, and you also mentioned the all-inclusive, right? So they're kind of counterintuitive to a hotel brand. So tell us a little bit more about these 2 experiences, these 2, let's call it properties. How do they work? How do they fit into the roadmap, the blueprint of the company?
So I think very interestingly, the Ritz-Carlton yacht, now onto the 3rd, has been an incredible journey. Many of our customers were going on cruises, but many were not. Many were not willing to go on a large cruise, and they wanted more of a yacht experience. And the minute that we actually branded a yacht and created a Ritz-Carlton experience at sea, they were keen to explore that. So I think what has been fantastic is long-time, loyal Ritz-Carlton guests are now exploring the sea too and joining us on that journey on the Ritz-Carlton yacht. The same way a lot of guests who were cruising a lot are exploring and learning what the Ritz-Carlton experience is. So it's really been a win-win on both sides, and it's allowed us to extend a luxury experience at sea, which is really fascinating.
What makes the yacht so special? What?
I would, first and foremost, the Ritz-Carlton yacht is the culture. The ladies and gentlemen and the service experience we deliver there. It's also the experiences. When you're on the yacht, you're living the Ritz-Carlton experience every living minute of the day. You're not going off the yacht other than the excursion you're doing, but you really are dining with us, sleeping with us, enjoying that experience, and have a lot more time with the rest of the guests who are on the yacht as well. So I think it creates family experiences, it creates friendships for life, it really creates a community at sea, which is beautiful to see.
True.
And interestingly, I'm going to parallel that with all-inclusive. A bit the same thing is happening. A lot of customers are loyal to our brands. They want to stay with us in many locations, and they had never explored what is an all-inclusive. Although I argue many times they have. You and I know that many of your top stays and reservations you make are actually in packages where everything is included, whether they are glamping or whether they're going on a lodge, it is actually included. So we are now taking those brands and creating an experience where every part of their stay is according to the brand standards of that specific brand they've asked for.
And how can you make sure, I mean, how can you keep an all-inclusive, because again, for me it's kind of counterintuitive, tell you the truth, when you talk all-inclusive, other brands come to mind that are not necessarily luxury. we haven't seen, that if I recall correctly, any luxury brand venturing into the all-inclusive space. How do you keep that luxurious within the all-inclusive space?
Absolutely. So I think a lot of great experiences. We're about to open the W Punta Cana. I think that is a great example of our larger hotel in Punta Cana. Dominican Republic is a growing destination. It's literally reminds me of when you saw the early days of the beaches in Mexico develop, right? Something very similar is happening there. That W all-inclusive, the design, the decor, the layout of the hotel allows you to have endless amounts of experiences on property. What is essential for us is to make sure that the food and beverage experiences are on par with what the guests are experiencing and expecting there. And that is where we're putting a lot of focus. We're also putting a lot of focus on the experiences in general. Let's make sure that the water experience they have, the craft experience, the gastronomic experience, the beverage experience are all aligned and in tune with the W brand offering. The same as we've done in Almare, the luxury collection in Isla Mujeres. You arrive, from the design of the furniture to the spa areas to the experiences you have, those are all aligned to what you would expect from a luxury collection hotel. And the same will be the case as we open the Ritz-Carltons around the world, but particularly starting in Caribbean and Latin America. So I'm excited to see the experiences the guests will have.
You talk a lot about opening and you talk a lot about the Caribbean. Is there something happening in Brazil? Is there something?
So we just opened the W Sao Paulo, as you know. A lot of interest there. I hosted a beautiful media lunch there on Monday, and people are still exploring and getting to know that hotel. In a few weeks, we will be opening the Westin in this city as well. Close proximity there. I've walked it as a hard hat tour. It's a beautiful product as well. Excited for that. We already have the Westin Porto Galinas, which is an all-inclusive. If you haven't gone, I've gone up for a weekend, and it is a beautiful little haven and escape away from the city. And we've just signed the Westin João Pessoa as well.
Oh, that's
But
cool.
interest of you, we will be opening the W Gramados in 2028.
Very
so
nice.
a little European escape in the middle of Brazil with a W experience. It is, a match made in heaven. And I'm excited. I'm not sure if you know, but we're also looking at a project for a reserve, a JW and an autograph about 40 minutes outside of Rio. So that is to come as well. But we continue
North
to
or
look
south?
at the right location.
North or south of Rio?
South of there.
South of Rio.
Yeah. So
Beautiful.
that's going to be exciting to see those developments as well. But lots happening. Costa Rica is growing for us. On Friday this week, we're doing the ribbon cutting for the St. Regis Cap Cana. So imagine, this is a hotel that is built on the beach. It's so rare to have that access nowadays. You literally step out of your room, 6 steps, and you're in the
sand
you're in
already.
the sand. It is.
Must be amazing.
Yeah, beautiful signature restaurant already. An incredible team has been hired there, so definitely want to visit soon as well.
Well, I could be sitting here and talking to you the whole afternoon, and even telling personal stories about how that whole culture of the Ritz-Carlton specifically, amazes our guests, and the St. Regis as well, and the W. Really, you guys do such an amazing job. Congratulations, and thank you so very much once again.
Thank you, Eduardo, for the partnership over the years and the friendship. It means the world to us.
Thank you. Thank you, Louise.
Thank you.